dogs, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a road test review on this beautiful 2015 Jaguar F-Type Coupe S. It's a gorgeous day out, and Will Shen is the proud owner of this car, lent me the car for the day. Huge props to him, by the way. I'm going to put his Instagram down in the description so you guys can check out his content. But he told me as long as I don't crash the car, don't scratch the car, and top the car off with gas, I should be okay. So huge props to him again for letting me use the car for the day. We're just going to be going out doing the road test review, and yeah, let's get into it. To give you guys a little bit of insight on this car, it comes with the 3-liter V6. It's actually supercharged, making 380 horsepower and 339 foot-pounds of torque. It sends that power via an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends it to the rear wheels only. It's a very, very dynamic feel. This car is not an electronic, digital, freak show. This car is actually really in touch with the driver. It's not full with assists. You can actually turn off the traction control and you can actually have fun with it. So unlike the base package on the Jaguar F-Type, you can actually opt for the S, a $12,000 option package that you can get. The S includes the rear LSD, the limited slip differential. It also comes with the 19-inch wheels, a little bigger. You also get the adaptive dampening. You can actually change that in the settings, as well as the sport exhaust and a bunch of other little cool features. But overall, the sport is definitely the way to go, or the S trim. But it just feels really, really good. Oh gosh. See, when traction control is off, you can really get in trouble with this car. You really can. But it's a very, respectable car to drive because it does not want to kill you. The suspension, although it is very firm and obviously it's aggressive, but it's not. The car's center of gravity is great. The chassis feels great. It's a very predictable car to control, and that's what makes the F-Type very, very nice to drive. It's not something that just doesn't feel like it's meant to do this kind of thing. It feels like a proper driver's car. The adaptive suspension really does just control the ride, and the body roll is little to none as well, which is really nice. Oh my gosh. But this exhaust is just filled with laughter and fun. This is just amazing because when you get on the throttle, it gives you this amazing deep roar. Listen to this second gear pull. Oh man. Woo. And when you upshift, it gives you this incredible little throaty burp. It just sounds so good. Oh my gosh. And when you let off, you get the pops. Oh my goodness. It just does not get old. This is one of those cars that's just always rewarding. So the F-Type does have a few different modes. You can have it just in random, you can have it in the normal, the normal mode, but when you put it into dynamic, everything changes. You put it into sport shifting, and that basically turns everything wild. You're allowed to then use the amazingly fun paddles. Oh my gosh. And then it gives those amazing pops out the back. It's not terribly uncomfortable either, even despite the fact that it is on, the aggressive setting for sport, the dynamic mode. It doesn't really make you feel uncomfortable. The seats are very nice. They're actually leather as well. The bolsters in the side keep you locked in, so when you're taking corners very quickly, it doesn't feel like you're sliding around everywhere. You're planted in. This is a true sports car. It does not feel anything less than that. Some cars just don't have a really well balanced chassis, and you can definitely tell. So when I would slide the car out like that, some cars just are the suspension's just not planted. It doesn't feel like it's rigid enough, so the car kind of lops its weight around. But this car, it's very stiff. The adaptive suspension allows it to be very, very planted and controlled at all times, especially on back roads. And it's not too aggressive either. You don't feel every single bump. You don't feel every single little niche in the road. You definitely feel a lot, but it's not like the Gallardo Performante we drove before, where you literally feel everything and you're on bucket seats on the floor. It's much more comfortable. And this car you can road trip. You could definitely daily drive it as well as road trip it all the time. However, I wouldn't advise so because it only gets an average of like probably 18 miles to the gallon. In the turns, it just feels so planted. The brakes are incredible. These aren't the carbon ceramics, but they are extremely, this car definitely stops on a dime when you need it to. The paddles are really fun to play with. Will actually threw on the cool carbon fiber paddles. They actually feel really nice behind your hands. I'd say without a doubt though, the biggest con to the F-Type is the price. Brand new, you're paying roughly $80,000 with the F-Type S. I mean, not that that's a bad price, it's the fact that you're not getting a lot for that price. 380 horsepower, that's only 50 more than what a 370Z has. And the 370Z goes brand new for roughly 40, and that's even a high trim model. Honestly, I don't think this car is worth that type of price. The fact that you only have 2 seats, you only have that amount of power, you don't have much, honestly, for the money. I think that is a bit of a too high of a price. The back end just kicks out so easily on this car. I'm pretty sure it's because the tires are basically done for, and in the fact it's a cold December day. But this car with traction off is so fun. I mean, you can get the back out so easily in this car. And the fact that it's got the limited slip diff, the rear wheel drive, it just makes it so easy to do so. Like literally just punching off from a stop sign, just whip the wheel to the left and just the car just slides. It's so simple. Oh my gosh, but it's so not scary either. Like some cars you're scared to slide because it oh my gosh. And the cool thing about the Jaguars is there's not many of them. Like the Jaguar F-Type, I've probably only seen 2 or 3 in my hometown. And I personally don't know anyone that has like a nice S-Coupe like this car. I mean, the car is just rare in general. You just don't see them often. It's more of an exclusive brand. But in general, I mean, this car is just really well hand-built. This car is just really well built. Let's put it that way. So cool features about the F-Type, this actually has a heated steering wheel as well as the heated seats. It's got full navigation and a ton of extra aids as well. And the crazy part is if you upgrade to the F-Type R, you're getting a whopping, like I think it's like 560 horsepower, but that's the supercharged V8, which puts out so much more power, and oh my gosh, the car's just mental. You can also get, I believe this car does come with an all-wheel drive option, but the rear-wheel drive is way more fun. I believe the V8 is has rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive options as well. But when you're not getting on the throttle at all, this car isn't honestly that loud. It's quite comfortable and nice. It's not ear-piercing. There's no drone in the cabin. The panels don't shake. The car feels very luxurious. It has really nice leather. Honestly, is a really good car. The sound system by Mediterranean, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is very good. I was listening on the way up on the turnpike. It's got an incredible sound, a ton of bass. It actually has a balancer fade as well, and it's actually quite nice. If you go to audio settings, you can adjust the bass, the treble, the subwoofer as well. It actually has one. There's a lot of good stuff with this car. Another con, just the fact that it's Jaguar. I don't believe these are the most reliable cars.
It's a hard car to sell because there's so many options that you can get for $80,000.
Oh,
there's so many cars, BMWs, Audis. I mean, it's just like you'd have to be pretty set on a Jaguar to pick a Jaguar over like, let's say an M3 or like an M4 or something like that.
Yeah, it's more or less an enthusiast car, I feel like, or a collector car. It's not something like the typical average Joe who wants to buy a sports car.
Right, it's not, yeah, exactly. It's not something that someone who's looking for a sports car is probably not,
Corvette or a Porsche
it's not
Boxster.
probably something that's really high on their list, but it is a really great car.
Absolutely, no, this thing is just flawless. I was just saying earlier how like this car is just so balanced. With the supercharged V6 has plenty of power and torque.
Absolutely,
nice transmission, and the rear-wheel drive just, I mean, the car's so well balanced. All right.
Yeah, this definitely puts you back.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, even the V6, it is the V6, which is the mid-level engine option. I mean, it really goes.
Versus the base, which is 340. This is 380.
Right.
And I believe the R is 550. I think that's what I was telling earlier.
It's nuts. What year is this? This is
2015.
2015. Okay. So I mean, it has a very Jaguar like feel to it. Like it's kind of Range Rover Jaguar.
Yeah.
You know, the touch screen and the little gauge screen.
Yeah,
like
it's
all
this is exactly like.
Right. It's all very similar, and it all feels very kind of. It's not the easiest system to use, but you know, it's functional.
Right, and I should mention, yeah, Jaguar and Range Rover do share parts.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
It all does make pretty good sense.
It all goes together.
So you can have the car in drive or sport, foot all the way to the floor, put the gas all the way down, timing launch ready, and lift off. Oh, back's not getting traction. Now it is. Oh, hit the limiter. That was a bit of a messed up launch because I bounced off the limiter. What was it?
We got 6.6 seconds.
What?
Yep.
Oh gosh, we gotta do that again.
Yeah, I think with those bald tires.
Oh yeah. There's no traction.
There's no traction.
I did kind of blow up second gear, so we definitely gotta do that again. But it's just so addicting. Like this car's exhaust is, I mean, it's worth the extra ridiculous amount of money you have to pay for this kind of Jaguar.
Definitely.
All right, we'll do another launch control. Here we go. Slowing down. All right, foot on the brake all the way, on the gas, launch timing, launch ready, and off we go. Strong grip. Oh, that felt a lot better that time. Wow, I think that was much better this time, for sure.
Definitely. It did not actually.
Oh my gosh.
It says 11.3, obviously that's not correct, but.